As you can see, we're in our driveway and there's no trailer.
Yeah, it's been in service for about the last 2 months. We will be getting it back very soon, fingers crossed.
But in the meantime, what are some fun activities we can do around the house? Well, we don't have our trailer and we can't go camping.
That's what we're going to show you today.
Yes.
So when we moved into this house, there was already quite a lot of bushes and trees in the front yard, and the entire thing was mulch. And so I've decided that I'm going to work with that. We're keeping all of those things, but I've put in some little pathways and I'm filling it with a ton of plants to create this kind of cottage garden style feel. And so I've marked pathways with just some stones in the backyard. We're eventually going to make this like a proper, larger stone-lined pathway. But yeah, we've divided plants, we've moved plants. This beautiful azalea is in bloom right now. It used to be next to the driveway. We've moved it over here. Big project. We've divided our hostas to get those all over the place. And yeah, I'm just having so much fun going to the garden centers, picking out all kinds of plants. There's so much to choose from. It's a little bit overwhelming. I'll spend like hours just looking at everything and then trying to figure out what it is I want. But I've managed to do that a little bit. I've just got some ostrich ferns up here. We're going to add a bit of an edible component to the front yard. The ostrich ferns are what create fiddleheads in the spring, so we will have some of those. And then lots of flowers. So we've got some coral bells that will flower. I've bought some perennial begonias, which they flower in the spring. So we're still waiting for the Shasta daisies to come up. They'll come up later in the summer, and the phlox and the poppies and stuff. But I'm hoping we're gonna have tons and tons of flowers throughout the seasons here. Right here along the side of the driveway, this is where we also park our trailer during the summer months. And it was really crowding a lot of the taller plants here. That azalea I mentioned used to be here. By the time we opened our slide, the slide was like into the plant. It was creating too much shade for things. It was just a bit of a disaster. The trailer was also blocking out a lot of light to this lovely blue spruce that we have here, and so we've actually raised the canopy on that so that we will be able to access the trailer and so that all the dead stuff's removed. The beautiful part is that it opens up the front yard a little bit more, gives us a little bit more curb appeal, and you know, we really like that. The neighbors have all been complimenting us. Thanks, guys. And it's all thanks to the garden consultant that we hired who gave us some of these tips.
So we don't often barbecue when we're on the road that much. I don't know why, really. I think it's just because it's like messy and often the weather isn't that great. And of course, wind is something we encountered a lot too. And barbecuing outdoors does not work that well when it's super windy. You know, we don't even barbecue that much at home. I think it's kind of the same reasons. You have to have the good weather, it's a lot of cleanup, and actually we don't really eat as much meat as we used to. But I'm feeling like we should barbecue more, because it's just kind of good.
Alright, so a few weeks ago in one of our videos we had some goats who are helping us clear the yard, and they've gone now, and I'm going to give you a little update on those projects. So, as you can see, I'm walking up a ramp. This ramp never used to be here. Jay very kindly engineered it for us so that we could get our garden cart up the front of this hill. We have a tiered backyard with two rather large hills, which makes it difficult for gardening with vegetables and all this and all that. But we've still managed to put in a lovely little bed here that we have planted with lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, you name it, all kinds of cold weather green stuff. We're trying out some marigolds this year as well to see if we can protect it from some of the pests. Last year we put in some strawberry plants, and this year will be the first crop of those. We are very, very excited. The plants are covered in flowers right now. Fingers crossed they're really good, tasty berries. Then we've also got more greens and herbs like oregano and rocket. And we just moved one of our rhubarb plants over here. It's a nice sunny spot, so we're hoping it's going to do really well this year. The second hill is going to have a small rock wall at the base of it. And that's what this trench that I'm digging here is for. It's been a very long project so far. We've been doing it ourselves. May have to enlist some help. I don't know yet. Anyways, so the second hill also has a ramp cut into that Jay did. So let me show you that. All right, so this second hill leads to the final plateau of the backyard, which is absolutely massive. So overgrown right now, it's ridiculous. But that's going to be a project for next year. For now, we're tackling these two hills. They're full of weeds right now. We're like, oh my gosh, it's a little overwhelming, but we're trying really hard to get some plants that are established, some ground cover to choke out these weeds. I've just planted this amazing ground cover called rupture wort. It feels so cool, it's soft. We've put it between these two posts. At either side of the posts at the top of this hill, we have some grapevines that one of our neighbors has very kindly propagated for us. So we're eventually going to have a little arbor here with a bench to sit out and look at the mountains.
So a quick Starlink update. I had set it up at the front of the house. It worked pretty good there, but I didn't want to leave it out front, so I set it up on the hill over there. That didn't work too well because it had too many obstructions from the trees and the hedges and things. So now I've got it up on this little roof and it's working perfectly. Hardly any obstructions. So it just goes to show you, you don't really need that much open sky to get it to work. So I think it's going to be great for conference calls, for uploading our videos, for doing any kind of remote work when we're on our big camping trips.
So one of the other things that are typically done camping that we like to do here at home occasionally is have a campfire. So campfires are typically something that we do when we're away camping during the winter months, because when we're here at home in the summer, there's often fire bans here on the West Coast in the summer months. It's because we are in a high-risk wildfire zone. So it's still spring though, things are still pretty wet, so we're gonna have a campfire tonight. So for our campfire tonight, I will be starting a fire using the Bigfoot Bushcraft Firestarter Kit. And the wonderful folks over there contacted us to see if we might be willing to test out their product and review it. Now, I've never used a fire kit like this before, so it's gonna be kind of interesting. But it comes with a whole bag. This is the bag of these little fire starter plugs. They're pretty pink, I love it. They say that they can burn for up to 5 minutes. They're also windproof and waterproof, which I've had problems lighting fires in the past, so I'm hoping this is going to be really helpful for me. The tricky part though is I'm going to be using this rod and striker instead of a lighter, which again, I've never done before in my life. We have had times where our lighter has been almost out, or weather conditions have just not been great to have a lighter and no starters and stuff. So I'm kind of thinking this might come in handy for our emergency kit if we were to ever need to start a fire while we're hiking or somewhere without a lighter. So thank you to the folks over at Bigfoot Bushcraft for sending us this product. We're going to test it out. To make it a little bit more interesting though, we're gonna pit Jay against me in a fire building contest. This is the reason for the giant yellow measuring device beside me. So we've split our fire pit into 2 different regions, his and mine. We both have the same amount of fire stuff, kindling, wood, etc. We're gonna give ourselves about 2 to 3 minutes, and we're gonna see who can build a fire, the tallest fire, in that time. Jay will not be using the Bigfoot Bushcraft Firestarter Kit. He's gonna go usual for us, which would be with a lighter and a bunch of sticks. So let's see who can do it. So what just happened there? I was the first one to get a flame, which totally surprised me. This was just as easy as striking a match, which I have to say I'm pretty impressed. I often even just struggle with a lighter. So that was really cool. These fire plugs really gave me a leg up. It burned for like a good 5 minutes, and I was still able to, as an inexperienced fire maker, keep my flame and keep adding stuff to it. Mind you, I kind of snuffed it out at the end, but that just comes down to my fire making skills. I was still able to get a flame before Jay. He did get a bigger flame in the end, so he's gonna continue to make the fire for tonight. But I have to say, Bigfoot Bushcraft, I'm pretty happy with your product because it made me be able to make a fire. If this is a product that you would like to add to your kit, we will include the link to their website in the description below, and you can try it out as well. And of course, you can't have a campfire without having s'mores. Now, we're gonna do something a little different tonight. We have, of course, the marshmallows and the chocolate bars, standard for s'mores. However, instead of graham cookies, I picked up some donuts from the Rolling Pin Bakery here in Hope. I happen to work there during the summer, so come on in and say hi. And let me show you some of their glazed donuts. So this is going to be our s'mores exterior tonight. I tried it at work. We are actually selling s'mores kits with their own homemade marshmallows. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I did not snag one of those kits in time. We sold them all before I could. So I got donuts and I have to do with the store-bought marshmallows. But that's okay. It's still with their donuts and it's gonna be amazing. Go. Oh no! What the heck does that mean?
That means repeat.
Oh.
Because there was a horn. Action.
Five-second rule.
All right. Let's try that again.
Make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.